What's your earliest memory? A birthday cake? A scraped knee? A sibling's laugh? Whatever it is, it probably didn't happen before you were 3. Now here's the twist. Science shows that babies begin to form memories while still in the womb. They react to voices, recognize songs, even respond to emotional states. Before they're born, they're already learning, storing experiences somewhere deep inside. And yet, we grow up remembering nothing. How can a brain remember the womb and then forget it all? In this video, we're going to dive into the science of fetal memory and why our earliest experiences are both unforgettable and unreachable. But first, tell us in the comments, what's the first thing you think you remember? And how old were you? You might be surprised how the science redefines what counts as a memory. Before a baby sees light or breathes air, their brain is already forming connections. Around the 3rd trimester, the fetus begins to respond to repeated stimuli. A sound, a voice, even a melody. This isn't just reaction. It's recognition, the foundation of memory. In a famous 1986 study, DeCasper and Spence asked pregnant women to read The Cat in the Hat aloud during the final weeks of pregnancy. After birth, babies showed a clear preference for that familiar story, adjusting their sucking behavior to hear it again. This is called implicit memory. Memory without conscious awareness, shaping how we react to the world. Other studies found that fetuses can recognize their mother's voice, differentiate between languages, remember specific melodies, show different responses to familiar versus unfamiliar sounds. A 2013 Finnish study exposed fetuses to made-up words. After birth, babies' brains responded more strongly to those same words, proof of early learning. It's as if the womb is our first classroom, where the lessons are sensory, emotional, and wordless. If this amazed you even a little, hit that like button. It tells us you care about real science and helps us reach more curious minds like yours. Inside the womb, sound doesn't travel the same way it does in the outside world. It's low, muffled, fluid-filtered, like listening underwater through thick fabric. But that sound matters. The most constant, powerful sound a fetus hears? The mother's voice. Not the words, but the rhythm, the tone, the emotion. Even in the 3rd trimester, babies begin tuning into prosody, the melody behind speech. And they store it. In fact, newborns cry, with intonation patterns that reflect their mother's native language. French babies sound different from German babies. That's how early language learning begins. The amniotic fluid also conducts sound, especially low-frequency tones. That's why the mother's voice is clearest, and why it becomes the emotional anchor of the baby's sensory world. And music? Studies show that babies exposed to lullabies in the womb are soothed by those same songs after birth. Their brains remember the soundscape of the womb, not with words, but with calm, familiarity, and emotion. The womb isn't silent, it's a symphony of belonging. What a mother feels, the baby feels too. Not figuratively, biologically. When a mother is calm, her body releases oxytocin and endorphins. When she's anxious or afraid, she releases cortisol. And that crosses the placenta. Studies by Vivette Glover and Petey Wadwa have linked maternal stress to higher fetal heart rates, greater infant reactivity, long-term emotional sensitivity. One study found structural changes in the amygdala, the brain's emotion center, in babies of highly stressed mothers just weeks after birth. This isn't about blame. It's about understanding how sensitive fetal development is to the emotional climate around it. The womb isn't just a shelter. It's a training ground, a place where the baby's body and brain begin adapting to the world they expect to meet. These early emotional memories aren't events we recall. They're neural imprints, shaping how we relate, trust, and respond to life. If so much happens before and shortly after birth, why do we forget it all? This is the mystery of infantile amnesia, the scientific term for why we don't remember our first few years. Here's the core of it. The hippocampus, the part of the brain that stores explicit memories, stories, timelines, places, isn't fully developed until age 2 or 3. Before that, we store implicit memories, sensory impressions, emotions, and patterns. It's like saving files without labels. They exist, but we can't search for them. As our brain matures, we gain language, identity, and narrative, the tools to build retrievable memories. But the earliest ones were saved in a completely different format. It's not that your womb memories are gone. They're just written in a language you no longer speak. Imagine trying to access a photo saved in a file format your device no longer supports. It's there, but out of reach. Even if we don't remember the womb, it may have remembered us and left a legacy in our biology. This is where epigenetics enters the story. The science of how environment and experience can switch genes on or off. This happens before birth. The nutrition, stress, love, or trauma a fetus is exposed to can create chemical tags that influence metabolism, emotional regulation, immune responses, personality traits. This is known as fetal programming, and it can shape who we become. One historic example is the Dutch hunger winter. Babies born during a World War II famine were more prone to chronic diseases decades later. Their biology had been trained to expect scarcity. Even food preferences are shaped in the womb. Babies show a preference for flavors their mothers consumed while pregnant. These aren't memories we recall. They're memories we live. You're not just shaped by your childhood, you're shaped by the environment that built you before you even had a name. No one remembers the womb. We don't remember the swaying rhythm of our mother's walk, the echo of her voice, or the way her heart matched ours. But that doesn't mean it didn't matter. It mattered enormously. Science shows that who you are, your reflexes, your fears, your emotional palette, may be traced back to that hidden world. The womb was your first teacher, your first home, your first memory, even if you can't recall it. What invisible memory do you think shaped who you are today? Let us know in the comments. You might inspire someone else's reflection. If you want more stories that merge science and soul, subscribe. Here, we explain life in a way that honors how it actually begins. This video is based on peer-reviewed scientific research and simplified for educational purposes. It is not intended as medical advice. All claims reflect the scientific consensus at the time of publication. Always consult a professional for personal medical concerns.